Playing Possum Podcast.
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 Playing Possum Podcast. Oh, hey, possums.
Yo, how are you doing?
I wish we had possum tails that we could, be like, here's my... No, I don't wish that.
We all grow rat tails.
You did rat tail. I can see it.
Yeah, I've had one. I just got rid of my mullet, so now there's space for a rat tail to come back.
I love it. It looks
Thank
good. Does
you.
it feel good?
Yes. I got long hair in the pandemic, and I never cut it back to short. And yesterday, I just impulse cut it off, and it feels really nice.
Oh, you did it yourself?
No, I went to my person, and it wasn't that impulsive.
No, a lot. Right. Well, exciting.
Yeah.
I love it. New you.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, y'all will forgive all my sniffles through the episode. We've been through what they call the upside down blizzard down here on the Gulf of America. It's an upside down world. My sinuses predicted it, and they endured it, and I apologize for the sniffle. So
Okay.
it is what it is. It's been really cold. We've been down to in the teens every night, so the Miss Lou has been dripping faucets. And we got a little snow, some rare snow. But nothing like New Orleans, which saw almost 12 inches. So exciting times. Exciting times.
Are people acting crazy though down there, doing weird stuff with their trucks without 4-wheel drive?
Oh, as an Atlanta girl, you know how we do. Everybody gets their milk and bread and hunkers. Well, it's all melted. So in our community, everything was closed for one day, or most everything for one day. And I don't really know about south of us. That's why they call it upside down. We were on the northernmost edge. But I mean, I've never seen Biloxi, the beaches of Biloxi covered in snow. Never seen a blizzard over New Orleans. So very upside down. Very upside down.
Well, I told you that my friend took the riverboat cruise, and he was like, we stopped in Natchez. And I was like, you mean Natchez? And then so he just missed the snow, but it sounds like maybe your dad counted him as one of the cruise boat people visiting a photography exhibit, which sounds super interesting.
Yes. To meet my father, he periodically oh God, I don't even know what the word is. He sits with the photograph at the Presbyterian Church of sort. We'll say that. How about that? He's a greeter.
Greetings.
Come, experience our culture.
Yeah, but what was interesting and kind of thinking about that, the last podcast that with our guest, the collaboration of two artists, the Alchemy of the Unknowns, that photography exhibit that was just found negatives on a back porch, right, from the 1800s or something.
Yeah, it was a whole man's life's work. Well, actually, I think it was himself. I think it was his predecessor, himself, and his son. So it was about 3 generations of portrait photography from 1870s through 1920s or 30s. They all used the same studio, so all of their life's work was all kind of jumbled up in the same place. Whenever it moved out of that place, which is around the corner on Main Street, it got passed around until it ended up on a widow's back porch or something. That just has its stories. But a lot of it was taken by the Gandhis to LSU, who had them restored and developed. It was thousands of glass plate negatives, and it's a time slice of the city throughout those decades. Cool.
I love the idea of 3 generations of people doing having the same passion. They're all doing photography. It's so cool to me.
Yeah. And I could be wrong. It's Henry Norman's, or I can't remember who the father-son was, and I do think there was a third either before or after them. I can't remember, but yeah, it's pretty wild. Pretty wild. But they were providing a service locally until we all had our own cameras. So until the Brownie came out.
The Brownie?
The Kodak Brownie, the first non-professional, like home use camera.
Nice. Well, I know what I'm doing a deep dive in tonight then.
Check it out. Collection of historic photographs of Natchez, Mississippi. Enjoy.
Very cool. Very cool. I got some pretty cool news today that I shared out a little bit earlier, but I just got an acceptance letter from Portland State University. So I'm going to be starting school there in the fall. So I'm just so excited, and I feel like I've been waiting an entire lifetime for this letter to come in and tell me yes or no, but it ended up being a yes, and I can't wait.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it was a resounding yes, I think I saw from the letter.
Yeah, they did use the word resounding. So
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
I think I'll do a little bit of art there, and maybe some other stuff, but we'll see. We'll see. Still undecided.
Yeah.
How
Well, it's
long-
been a journey, I think. Oh, sorry, Jamie.
How long has it been since you were a student?
I mean, I guess technically I still am a student. I graduated from my last program 2 years ago, but I've been taking classes ever since.
Yeah.
So never really stopped, but started 2019. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Very excited for what's to come.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
what are we talking about?
Well,
Wait.
I think you made a possum pouch for us, right? Like a marsupial pouch for us to check out.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
Topics are kept warm.
Yeah, because everyone knows, possums, they carry their little babies around in a pouch, and we carry our little babies around in a non-Crown Royal bag until we finish
Unbranded.
developing our own pouch.
Elm Cray Oil Ray bag.
Yes. So the point of the pouch is that so we could just have pull out of the pouch a topic and kind of riff on it for some time. So shall we see what's in the pouch?
Yeah. Check out that pouch. Check out that pouch.
Don't look.
Check out that
Don't look.
pouch. Pouch.
Procrastination.
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 Queen.
Sweet. Sorry.
The name of the game is procrastination.
I feel like everyone in my life is like, do you have that table done? That I've been working on for over a year.
Would you like to provide an update and tie it into our topic?
Yeah.
The table that makes
I
everyone
think
angry.
make the table that will make everyone angry. Yeah. I have been working on this table for a long time. I mean, it's not the only thing I've been doing, but partially because I've been doing everything else but the table also. Like I've worked on it and then I've also not worked on it a lot. And I think for me, it's like, I don't know, like there's so much to it of like, it's my first commission in a while. I've sort of gone past the amount of money that I've gone past the amount of work that would make an hourly rate acceptable. And yeah, it was just, I bit off more than I thought. I'm excited about the project. I've learned a ton. But it's like, there's something about finishing it that feels really hard. And so I have, I have procrastinated a lot around it. And I'm also, but I'm really close. I actually worked on it this morning before our podcast. And I feel like I'm like maybe another few hours of work and then I could actually deliver it. But the most recent thing that set me back is like, I don't know where I'm going to photograph it because I always like to have photographs of my work. And so I feel like sometimes that's like a really big, like we'll kind of start a procrastination. Like I'll be like, I have a lot of momentum and then I kind of run into a roadblock. And then rather than like try to solve it or like start looking into where I could photograph, which I have done, but it's like, I think sometimes it's like when I finally start getting momentum and then something stops that, it's really easy for me to stay like an object at rest stays at rest. I'm really good at staying at rest. So, yeah. And then I think we've talked about this a lot on the podcast is like finishing stuff for me, for whatever reason, is really hard. And so it's like, I'm at this point where like, I'm going to finish it. And it's like, I feel like it's kind of become my friend, and for it to leave the shop would make me sad. And so, if I actually finish it, then I would have to say goodbye to my table who
You finish
like
it, then what
bonded
do you
with.
even have to do anymore?
What?
Huh?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. If you said you didn't want to finish it because you didn't want it to leave the shop, and that I relate to that so much. But yeah, I know the feeling. It's be like you've named it, it's yours. Y'all are together.
For sure. Yeah, I did feel like I just saw you working on the project like not that long ago, and you were gluing everything up, and it was looking pretty done.
It's pretty close. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I think my internet is dropping out. So I'm like in and out.
Yeah, I think so.
That's okay. You're the
my
Jamie
turn.
of this podcast.
Yes.
Next,
so I'm
next
be
time it'll be my turn to drop out.
Yeah, Ghost.
I know the feeling. Oh, Lord. I during our pod with the Alchemy of the Unknown, I was back and forth, unplug the internet, plug the internet back in. It was, it is what it is.
Yeah. It's the hard thing about doing the online stuff is like it's such an uncontrollable variable.
Right. You know, when I think back to COVID, and how incredible it was, the connectivity that we were able to maintain, and especially like in entertainment and stuff. And
yeah,
you know, I follow a lot of drag artists and stuff, and for them to be doing all of this stuff like out of their living room, was wild to me. Like,
yeah,
Trixie Mattel win an Emmy for that, like that whole show that she put on for like all of her doll collection or something at the height of COVID. It was like a one-woman show or something like that. It was so funny.
I feel like I kind of remember that, but I was watching so much of her channel at that time with the makeups. Like, can I do a full face of drag and like Elf or something? You know, like Maybelline or whatever.
I enjoy her so much.
Oh yes, it's like my saving grace when the next episode of Bald and the Beautiful comes out.
Oh, I love it, and I do. I look forward to it. And I enjoyed it when she took her 3-month break. I enjoyed Katya with all of the guests that came in. I enjoyed the Trixie YouTube takeover of the people that she had coming into her show and stuff like that.
Did you see Katya on I can't remember what the name of the show is called, but she was just a guest on.
Was it Kelly Mantle's show?
Not Kelly Mantle. It was a late night show. Tomlin. Someone's. It's a stand-up comedian. I can't remember her first name. Her last name's Tomlin, and she has a late night show now, like after midnight or something like that. And Katya was one of the guests on there, and they were wearing their little wiglet, like their little bowl cut wigs. And oh my gosh, at the end, Katya ended up winning the contest and pulled her little wiglet off and put this other, like the award wig on.
I love a wig reveal. That's so funny. All right, let's see. It was recent. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look for it later. But yeah, I find them to be so creative. What I enjoy about their podcast is that, and I enjoy a lot of those Drag Race Girls' podcast, is that they're not recapping the show. They're not reviewing the runway and stuff like that. All of which I enjoy with other, with other queens and stuff like that. But yeah, they're talking about politics. They're talking about, their adventures traveling and performing and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I just find them delightfully witty and
a little
quirky in the best way.
I've told myself I cannot listen to them anymore when I'm at the gym because I've almost hurt myself so many times. Because essentially, Trixie will come in with these one-liners, and then I'll just like, the muscles give out a little bit, or I'm like about to like fall off the treadmill or something. It's just like I have to wait. It's a driving show. It's not a workout show.
Oh my God. And I'm shooting myself in the foot for even bringing it up again, because for 2 weeks I could not stop saying, what about Moodang? Guess who's jealous of Miss Pearl? Moodang.
Yeah, Moodang just came up again somewhere else for me. Like some other influencer was like in my picture of Moodang. It was Suryat, I think, actually. And when they're like, I'm gonna see how much I can eat at Olive Garden for 24 hours or something like that. Do you ever watch
No.
Suryat? You don't really need to, but like he's just like, I'm gonna eat at Long John Silver's for every meal for a week.
I do enjoy a good mukbang, like not personally, but I can watch one.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was. And then everybody started sitting down and videoing themselves, gorging themselves on whatever Qdoba.
Oh, yeah.
Or...
It ruined Chipotle for me. I never want to see Chipotle again. If I never see her face, I'm fine.
She's back. Oh my gosh, and you're clearer than when we started.
Holy crap.
That's because this old busted machine is done. So I'm
the back looks nice.
The profile on that cut, yeah.
Wow. Hi. Who they?
Very nice.
Yes, I'm borrowing Marcia's computer because I still haven't set up my new computer. But I think it was
speaking of procrastination.
Yeah, I know. Talk about procrastination. That my new computer is sitting in a box, and if I had just set it up,
well, I need to procrastinate a little bit more.
And switch them over.
We were talking.
Are you gonna move your content, or are you just gonna start fresh?
Oh, my content is locked in a dead computer that even after 5 hours of Apple support, we could not retrieve. But luckily, I save a lot of stuff on the cloud, so anything super valuable maybe is there. And then I'm hoping most of my photos are on my phone or Marcia's phone.
So did you procrastinate setting up your new computer?
Oh, yeah. That is like my least favorite thing to do. Like, I do not like digital, my digital situation is like the equivalent of like a very messy room. Like, everything is just in downloads and it's a mess. So basically, I just filled that thing up till it was like, I can't take it anymore, and it died. So I just got like the computer with the most storage possible, so I can.
How many terabytes did you get?
I paid the extra to get 2 terabytes, so nom. Yeah.
This one's gonna last twice as long.
Yeah, I'll take 2 terabytes. Yeah, so we'll see. This is, just that Marcia also got a new computer, and yeah, it has like the new Apple chip and all of that. Like, this is not a commercial for Apple, but if they want to sponsor us, they can.
Seems they're sponsoring everything these days.
I would also take a Sure sponsorship, a Dell sponsorship, Adobe, not Chipotle, Adobe. But definitely Qdoba.
Qdoba, give us that rice and beans.
While you were gone, we were talking about things.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, what did y'all talk about while I was a ghost?
Well, we were just talking about mukbangs. I've never participated in one, but I confess that I watch people on the internet sit down and eat too much food for some reason.
Oh, wait, what is it called?
It's called a mukbang, I believe. Oh,
yeah.
God, I say the wrong thing.
Yeah, I feel like y'all are my and for pop culture. So I would not know what it was called. And you just watch people eat too much food.
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah. Casey was saying that it ruined
Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yeah, bring it
Oh.
back to the Chipotle reference. There's like people on my Instagram. It's like every other reel is someone like,
Oh,
can you hear
yeah.
that? Like
Uh-huh.
into an overstuffed Chipotle burrito, and it makes me want to jump out the window.
Can't you like be like, please don't show me this again?
I could, but I kind of like the torture.
Okay.
It makes you feel so full.
Yeah, so I guess I don't need to eat now. I could just wait. It is one of my procrastination things though, is to watch that, especially when Nick Ocado was in his like, I don't know if it was a decline or an incline, but do you know who that is? It's just this guy, and he had started off as like this like scrawny young man who was a vegan, and he would eat like 20 avocados, and then it turned into he's like now 400 pounds and is eating like McDonald's entire menu plus like Takis, like lots of blue Takis. And then, but that's not even the thing, is like, this is even old news. Like months ago, he was like, I'm 2 steps ahead of y'all. And he was like old Nick Ocado again. And he was like, yeah, he was like, he had bloomed up and banked all these videos. And then he spent like 2 years just like dropping the weight. He was like, look at me now.
Big reveal.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like when artists turn around with their art really slowly on Instagram. Can we talk about that and how it's weird or no?
This is our platform. It's just us.
Okay. I mean, if you do that, more power to you, but I feel like it's a little bit.
I mean, going back to other topics, if you're putting your stuff out there, roll tide.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm not going to do it. It feels like a little bit of like, I watched this video of like this person doing performance woodworking, and they were like doing these like cuts, and they were like, and like, I was just like, that seems A, dangerous, and 2, why are you doing that? And
it's like Salt Bay meets woodworking or something.
Yeah, is that the guy that like does salt like this? Yeah, that's exactly. I didn't know that guy's name, but I sent it to my coworker Nat, and I was like, this is like the salt chef, but for woodworking. So yeah.
I would roll my eyes so hard.
Yeah.
Pop out of my head. Can we just acknowledge that we're procrastinating, talking about procrastination right now?
Oh, take us somewhere, Casey. Take us somewhere.
Oh my God. Way to make us feel uncomfortable.
Gosh. I mean, I only really know about like all the mukbang stuff because it is my procrastination to actually making something that means anything to me. So
yeah. I mean, I think that's part of the table. Like, I actually was talking to my therapist about this table. This table is like it's like a mirror of my life or something. I don't know. Of like, I think it's like, if I finish this table, I have all these ideas of what I want to do, and like actually have a really clear picture of where I want my work to go. But like, if I finish the table, then I have to actually start doing that. And I'm like, I've been carrying around, like, talk about procrastination. I have the form that I want to use for this next project, which I won't tell you now because I'm going to do a reveal where I turn around slowly and show you. But I've put this form in and out of my car like 7 times in the last 2 weeks because I'm like, oh, I'm going to cut this out, like at my friend's shop or at Highland shop, or like, and now it's like in my car and I could bring it in and cut it out. But I'm just like, nah.
Start charging it for gas.
We're carpooling. We're gonna ride in the HOV lane.
I need to see at least $3 or $4 or $5 for this gas you're burning up in my back
Yeah.
seat.
I am like the queen of like carrying around things that like I don't know what this is called, but like sort of the optimism of who maybe you could be or something. But like when I worked as a backpacking guide, I carried around this book that was like the history of this region that I was in, which is like the Southwest. I carried it around for like 5 years. I never read it. And then like Marcia found it on our bookshelf. She's like, "What's this book?" And I was like, "Oh, I carried that around for like 5 years in my backpack." Like it's like you were trying to get like the least amount of weight, and I'm just like carrying around this like huge book. And she read it and she was like, "This book is bad." And it was like, "Oh no." It's not even a good book. So I think yeah, it's like is that the albatross around your neck?
The
Or
albatross, yeah.
The what?
yeah.
The albatross,
The
the
what?
the albatross. You know what I'm
The
talking about?
what?
Yeah,
No,
I do, but like what is it? It's like a dead albatross
extinct
around
bird.
someone's neck.
It's an extinct bird. It was a ginormous. It was like one of the largest birds or something, right?
Huh.
Hence albatross. And wasn't somebody named like a vessel, a plane, a boat? It's just somebody
Yeah.
after albatross. I don't remember what it was. Anyway.
Well, albatross, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't think albatrosses are extinct.
Canceled.
Not a scientist. Not a scientist.
I was a scientist and not actively a scientist, but married to one. And
Second. Right
yeah,
now.
I think maybe I don't know, but it's something about like someone was on a boat and the bird was dead and they just wore it around their neck or
Large
something.
birds known for their impressive wingspan can reach up to 11 feet. Skilled
My
in
dad is going to be so disappointed. He's like a birder. We saw baby albatross in Hawaii, so I'm pretty sure they're not extinct unless they've gone extinct in the last.
According to the Google, it is it still roams the earth, but yes, it's a
Okay.
large bird with a large wingspan.
Okay, well, let's move on to talk about something we know about, and I'm sorry for bringing this up, and we can even edit it out.
Well, my
We'll
I would
not
say
edit it out.
my online procrastination tool is usually like watching people cut grass at an accelerated speed, like a fast forward, or clean carpets. Like I can watch people clean the dirt out of a carpet that came out of a house fire for an hour. Yeah, because I mean, it's soap, it's water, it's scrub, it's over and over and over again, and it's eventually reveals this beautiful rug, right?
A slow reveal of the clean rug.
But at twice the speed, right? So, and it's just a pure procrastination tool, and but I do find that I don't know if it's getting harder to put it down or if I'm not practicing the same discipline that I used to be like, it's a wrap, go do what you need to do or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It might be the times we're living through. It might be a season, might be a phase. I don't know. But yeah, picking up that phone you could lose hours easily.
Yeah.
100%. I find that I live by lists, and I end up doing all the things that I don't want to do first. So then by the time like the weekend or my evening is over, I no longer have time to actually do the thing that I wanted to do, which was like draw or like edit my photos or any number of projects that I'm working on at any time. And
which is amazing to me because I'm the flip side of that. I'm going to do what I want to do first, and then I'm stuck with all of this crap that I didn't do to do tomorrow, or later. And yeah, it's a vicious cycle.
totally. I mean, like when that happens to me, then I end up like beating myself up because I'm like, does it actually mean that much to me if I'm prioritizing like meal prepping and taking a shower over doing the thing that I want to do?
I think it is hard to do. Like, I think it's that thing, right? Where it's like the thing you want to do is scary though. Like, like I think it's like, well, I don't know. This is how it feels to me. So I don't want to generalize, but I think it's easier to like return library books than like make this like art that you think is going to change the world. And, which, whatever. My own ego. Do you think this changes everything? We're turning slowly around. But yeah, I think it's like it is like I think it's just easier to do those things where there's less weight to them, of like meal prepping, like is something that's like, oh, well, if I meal prep, like I'm taking care of myself, yes, but it's also like there's no consequence to meal prepping other than like, I guess, being hungry. But the consequence to doing the art or drawing is like failing, right? Of like in the way that it's like, oh, well, this isn't how I thought it was going to turn out, or people don't like this, or all of that stuff where it's like, oh, I really thought this was going to be something that people really responded to or whatever, which is like why we have to like think about other people and how what their response is, and is a whole nother thing. But it is, I mean, right, when you're trying to make money off of your work, it's something you have to think about. But yeah, for me, I think that's a big thing, is like I have been testing the waters of this new idea that I have, and like just been like saying it to people, random people, and like watching their reactions, because it's like I want to know.
Were you tested us?
Yes. Well, this is like bringing up my like people are going to take my shit feeling also if I put it out there before I've made it. But no, it's good practice for me of so what I want to make are these like happy little coffins that are like, I think sometimes we have this idea that like once a person has passed, it's like we shouldn't talk about them, or we shouldn't or we should respect their, I don't know. But I think there's something about just like celebrating the people who have passed in our lives, and in a way. And so the first one I want to make actually would have like a marquetry animal on the front, and then like the skeleton of the animal on the inside. And it would, I don't know if it's going to slide or open or whatever, but it would be, the idea was like, for when you're done playing dead and you're real dead. And so the first one will have a possum on it. But like, I don't know. So, and it would be kind of something you could hang on the wall. So I don't know, maybe saying it here will will make me make it, because I'll be so terrified someone's going to take my idea. So
yeah, what else you notice? That's ours. And I think it's cool. I love that.
I'm thinking of you still hauling around the table, but you have a whole series of happy coffins done.
Yes. And I have to actually make one for the client, because she has died. It's been so long.
Good, make one for the table too.
Oh my God. And just burn it and put its ashes in there. Yes.
Well, I live for the update. I live for the pod when it's like, guess what? I got done.
Yeah. Yeah. What have y'all not procrastinated on, I guess, is another good question.
Damn it. No, it's my internet.
I got the last of my photos edited and scheduled on Instagram, which is another thing. You mentioned this a minute ago, where you're like, you share it and then you're like hoping that somebody likes it. And I feel like that's always my thing. I'm like, hell yeah, I fucking did it this time. And then you click it and then no one likes it. And it just ruins your whole night, and then you don't sleep for like 3 days. It's great.
Yes.
But anyway, so I got my photos done, and I'm working on the problematic raisins, like sketch concept thing, and I'm thinking of going with like a Bruce Phalange golden raisin looking kind of Karen problematic energy. I was thinking of going with like a bad boy problematic kind of energy before, but I think I want to do more of like a Karen energy. I think that'd be more funny.
Oh, I like that. I think we just lost Jamie. But I can totally relate to that, of where you put something out. Like, I feel like right now, like I finally got over my like social media anxiety and like got back on Instagram And like even and putting stuff out there, and like what I do is I put it out there and then I delete the app and I don't look at it again for a few days. So I'm not like looking and seeing if people like it. And that has helped, but that energy is still there. I'm like thinking like, do people like it? And I think it's interesting because I think people are now like sort of questioning whether they should be on this platform because of kind of who benefits from it. And it's interesting that you're like thinking care and energy around the problematic raisin, because I think it is like, I don't know, it's just I've been thinking a lot about sort of that care and energy, and like I feel like people are just now starting to be like, wait, this is not okay, like everything that's been happening for a long time, but people are finally like, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe the Karens are going to finally wake up and understand what patriarchy is and like ask to speak to the management. And so maybe these problematic raisins will like benefit us in some way. But yeah, I don't know. I think, I think it's awesome that you're putting stuff out there, even though it's hard and you're like kind of like worried about if people like it or not, because I think one thing I have learned from you, and like that you're better about like actually getting work out, is just doing it even though you have all those feelings. So
Yeah, just like pushing through, though it does pull up a lot of emotions, because I also think that like I don't want to keep giving like the Instagram machine of things like money or like my content, though. So I'm like looking at alternatives. Actually, Lisa from Alchemy of the Known suggested Blue Sky is a new spot, but you see people out there that are like super prolific and getting so many likes, and like I sometimes, a lot of times, often I think that the things that they're publishing aren't even that great. But I think one of the things that keeps me like grounded when I am feeling like, oh, fuck this, like I don't want to post anymore, like no one's going to see this, is just that like I'm doing the best I can and I'm putting it out there. And the thing that I'm not focusing on that maybe these other people are focusing on is community building within these platforms, and like being active in like starting conversation and commenting and things like that. I don't know. So I guess I'm just trying to stay grounded and be like, it's not all me or like what people think about my stuff. It's just that like no one's seeing it because I'm also only doing like half the job of being I don't want to say successful on social media, but you know what I mean, like getting that kind of engagement.
yeah. We don't have sound for you, Jamie.
Yeah. Your microphone's procrastinating.
I think you just came on. Say something.
On?
Oh, hey.
There you are.
Oh, my internet.
What is
Off
even
the rails.
We have derailed. Well, Casey was sharing about things she hadn't procrastinated on, and so
Stories.
yeah.
Get your flowers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've procrastinated on a lot, but just the things that I have been able to push through. So not too many flowers.
Well, you were saying, you were lamenting that social media seems like a waste of time while I was in no internet world.
Yeah, well, it was kind of touching on what Kat had said earlier, where, you're doing this big reveal and then it seems like no one really sees it or something to that extent. Anyway, that might be part of my extrapolation off of it, but, you put so much effort into it, and the medium that I use, like my big reveal is posting it to Instagram. And so, when no one sees it, then it's just like super deflating. And just trying to like push that aside and acknowledge that half of the battle is also doing the work to build community and be really regular and all those things that I'm not great at. So
I can agree with you on that. It is demoralizing to put your whole self into something and then share it, and then watch it just flop. And what I've learned, though, is that more people are seeing it than you think. And there is that you're creating an association with your work and yourself. So I don't think it's a total loss. But as someone who work comes from a very personal place. It's about family, or it's about whatever, my feelings about these people, blah, 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 blah. Leftovers, heirlooms, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there is a sting with all of that, but, and I've definitely been in the position where I've not got a response that I hoped for and felt, let's take a break. Am I still doing it? Why am I about, continuing and moving forward and stuff? That can be a trigger for procrastination to move forward, to get back in the studio and work and stuff like that. And I don't have an answer for that. I will say that it's good if you have a website and you're linking to that, because then you can monitor the internet traffic. And what I found is that most people are looking and not participating. So 500 people can see your work and 5 people liked it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I've shared a couple reels, and then it'll be like, your reel has been seen by more than 1,000 people. I'm like, I have 150 followers. Like, who the heck is watching this?
Yeah.
And it feels kind of creepy too. And I think like what you're saying, Casey, and this is what I hope like Playing Possum Collective can kind of build into, is like actually engaging in community. And I think like Instagram in particular, and social media is such a simulation that like what you're saying, Jamie, too, is like people are just sort of like zombie, like looking at it and then going past it. And like, we're not understanding like the impact of that, and not engaging even in like pictures of your friend's vacation, like whatever that is. And it's like, like it's interesting, when I wasn't on social media, I actually had more texts and reach out from friends and conversations, and I would send stuff to people, and I had done more newsletters. And like I think I am sort of thinking about this of like, well, maybe it is more about like community and like not the number of people that see the work, because really like, but I think we are driven by that, and sort of like there is a reward to that, because we live in a society where like how known you are is how valuable you are. Because like as an artist, like it really, like you're never going to really make money. Like it's just, you're just not. And so it's like, it is your currency, and how valuable you are is how known you are. And like, I don't know if this is as true in y'all's fields, but like in the craft field, it was like, I was just with a bunch of people, and everyone, including me, was like, oh, well, this person, and like talking about these people. And like, it brings up for me of like, well, I've been doing this for like 15 years and nobody knows my name, and like a big part of it, like what you said, Casey, is like, I'm not engaging with people like at this level. And so it's like, well, what is that desire to be known? And is that really something that's important? Or is like, why do I make something? And I think, that like, just to tie it back into like procrastination, is like, I think when you put, like, I think one thing with this table, which my mom is calling it the dang table, because it's like, oh my God, like, she's like, can you please finish it so like we can go on a walk? But it's like, I think there's like, oh, well, this is the table that's gonna make me known, which is like so dumb, but it's like, it still happens. And so it's like, oh, well, if I finish it and then it is a failure, then it's like, why did I spend all my time on this? And it just can be this really weighty thing, versus like it just being like, like sometimes I envy people who do woodworking as a hobby, or as like something where they don't need to make money on it, because it's like the weight of it is less, it's just less, right? Like
Less pressure.
Yeah.
When your money is
Sure.
tied to it, it makes it a very different beast and different animal. And, sometimes you lose the opportunity to explore and be creative, because you got to churn something out. You got to get something on the wall. You got to get something out. But for people that are questioning whether or not it's worthwhile to invest in social media at all, I would say maybe just try a different couple perspectives, see what fits. Maybe you're just making an anthology of your work, and it doesn't matter if you don't ever get the attention that you hope to get on social media. If anything, it's a journal. You can look back and see how far you've come, right? That's easy to say looking back. In the moment, you do want to get lots of attention, probably. You want the affirmations and everything, but I would say keep doing it. There have been years that I've been really good at it and devoted a lot of time to it and pushed artwork and pushed related merch and stuff like that. And then the last couple of years, I really have not participated in it very much. And I've procrastinated about getting back into it. And because I built another website and I moved merch stuff over here and I made jamiehudnall.com and I still haven't told anybody online about that. And I think I made it last fall or maybe longer ago. I don't even know. But I would say keep doing it. Unless it's just, if it's harmful to you in some way, then don't. But I would say keep doing it. The regularity with which you do it, up to you.
Totally. I remember that when we were planning all of this, playing Possum stuff, one of the things that kept coming up was how we'd build community potentially like out of like our own kind of social network, like a private social network that we were gonna like, I don't know, host, get-togethers and chats or kind of whatever we felt like, and I feel like that seems much more accountability inducing, because there's like a level of like people are choosing to be here. It's not the default.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because I don't know how y'all feel about this, but sometimes just being on social media feels purposeless with like, I'm trying to do something serious like with posting my portfolio, and then I go one button over to Reels, and there's people that are just like deep throating a burrito, and like it's like, what am I even doing here?
I know. And you have to remember also, like, you have to check your expectations and stuff with social media. And I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in general, because like you have to remember, people are sitting on the toilet when they're encountering what it is that you shared.
Oh my God, I know.
Right? Like
that is like my
of a captive audience. I mean, this is people when they're on their lunch break, like when they're procrastinating, not doing. We want them to stop and pay us attention. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's both of you have a really good point of like, I think this is like as we evolve, whatever Playing Possum Collective is, I think it is like the main goal of what we do is that it's something intentional. And I think that is what people really crave in their lives is intentionality and like not the default of like, and I think this is like people like Jamie, I think when you fell off, like Casey was talking about, she's drawing our problematic raisin and like with kind of some Karen energy around it. And it's like, which is like amazing. And I can't wait to see it. Like, is it going to have like Karen hair?
I'm thinking like,
hair.
I'm thinking like, Bob with the big glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. And
can I speak to the manager who dehydrated me?
She's the vice president of the HOA. Well, if you can't have that in your yard. Mm-mm.
She's like, I did not agree to be in a box with these other raisins.
I'm a golden raisin, damn it.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Oh.
Problematic raisin. Can we switch timelines? Like, God, I'd like to get off this planet.
Oh my God.
Right. Where's that Rocky Horror laser beam?
Yeah. Get us. Yeah. But I really do think it is like the reason we are where we are is because we have like accepted all of these things as like, oh, well, I can't like, and this was even me, like, right. Like I intentionally got off social media and then I was like, oh, I have to get back on because this is the only way I can like become known or whatever. And it's like, actually, one, I don't think that's true. But two, it's like, if you do something with intentionality, even social media, but like anything, it's like, I think that's why procrastination happens too right now is because it's like people feel like they don't have the ability to like have intention in their life because everything feels like the system feels rigged and things aren't happening the way we want. And it's like, well, actually, I think you can think about it as the reverse, is like, if we put intention into building a community, if you put intention into your work and share it with intention, then those things might shift in a way versus being like, oh, this thing is happening to me. And I guess the only way I can become known is to slowly turn around with my artwork. And it's like, I keep bringing it back because I really think I know, like, and I really don't want to like rag on these people, but I think it's like, it is what it is like, it's like you have like agreed to like, this is the only way. And it's like, I think there is something where it's like, well, actually, there are these other options. But it's like, you have to do it with intention. And if you're slowly turning around with intention, then more power to you. But I don't know. Maybe I'm
In
just
the painting world, you've got the himbos that are shirtless, hunky dudes painting. Painting
Yeah.
it, double time, fast motion or whatever, and then give you one of these at the end. Be like, buy my work.
yeah. And I mean, if that's working for you and you're selling stuff and you're making money, then good, right? Like, but if it makes you feel awful, then I think it's like, that's where you have to be like, okay, well, like what's
Where are
the
you now that you've rejoined and you've been participating for a couple of months? Where are you with all of it?
I don't know. I feel like I think I want to kind of regroup and like go back to thinking about intention and like sharing with my newsletter folks, because like I didn't even send out a newsletter that I was doing the Southtown Art Walk, and those are like my local people, and I was like, oh, I put it on social media, and half of my friends didn't even come because they like liked the post. And so it's like, it's that same intentionality versus like if I texted them with intention and was like, hey, would you come by this show and hang out with me, and like we're gonna have a fire, and like thinking about it really intentionally versus sort of being like, oh, I put it out, so I'm sure people will come.
Right.
I think I've fallen into the trap a little bit. And so I want to regroup and be like, what's the purpose of this? And if it is truly just coming from like the desire to be like known by more people, then I probably need to think about not doing it. Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's problematic. I'm sort of being a problematic raisin if I'm doing it that way.
Well, and a lot of the people that you have found on Instagram that you admire their woodworking or whatever, you can access through the internet just by Googling woodworking, this, that, or the other. You don't have to be on IG to see those people, interact with them, yes, but I mean, you could still, I'm sure they're going to list an email somewhere. I mean, and you've never been shy about contacting people, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're right. I don't think it's the only way, and I've never felt that way. And I think it's interesting to watch you navigate it.
Yeah.
That feels really hard for me because I think that getting into art, that was the most accessible way for me to like share my art. And so I'm struggling trying to like navigate how to like upkeep my website and like when to post blogs or like what to talk about or like things like that. And so it's interesting hearing that the thing that you're finding the most valuable is like the opposite of like my natural approach to sharing my stuff.
Well, we have both struggled with that a lot, especially the planning, when to do it, how many times, all that kind of stuff. And I think everybody has to feel their way through that for themselves and the people they're reaching out to. But yeah, I mean, Katherine she's put in the work. I mean, she's built a bigger online community through email and stuff than I really have through social media. It's pretty valuable, and it's direct, and there's not anybody controlling it. So, well, theoretically,
Totally.
but could go to the junk folder. You never know.
I found it in my spam. Oh my God. That is like giving me images of like someone rooting through like a spam can.
salty ham spam. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I'm going to be a problematic raisin and have to go because I have a meeting. But this has been a delight per usual. And
Per usual.
Everybody make it happen. Don't procrastinate.
Get out.
Don't possum up.
Subscribe, by the way. Please.
Yeah.
Or I'll have a meltdown.
Yeah, and like if you listen to us on Spotify, if you just rate us, then they would know that we exist, because right now it's like they're like, there's nothing like this podcast, because they have no idea who we are. So yeah, help us out. Yeah. But thanks, possums, and we'll check back in with the possum pouch soon. Maybe we'll have one made the next episode.
Episode 3 in the book.
Wrapped. Well, toodles, possums, and check us out on all the platforms, and you in the show notes we'll have our links to stuff. So thanks
subscribe,
for
follow.
Later, Gator.
Bye.
Bye.